This is quick.
And we can finish up at 8:30.
Yeah, we'll finish on time. But
Because we have to leave after breakfast.
Really? Aye, okay.
Something like that.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev, Jai Saparika Shishi Guru Gauranga, Sundar, Radha, Giridhari Juki, Jai. And Shishi Prapana Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Shidadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. So we'll carry on with Chapter 4, Rejection of the Unfavorable, Pratikulya Vivajanam, and words of nectar from the devotees. Oh, and I think it was this long, was it this long sloka here, Maharaj, that we were just about to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Which number is it?
It is 10th shloka of Rupa, a shloka of oh, I see, that long one is actually the Bengali verse by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay, so it's verse 10 in the 4th chapter. Bhakti bhadhaka dosas chajyaha. Personal defects that obstruct devotion must be forsaken. Summary. Jai Gurudev. Personal defects that obstruct devotion must be forsaken. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo nyamagraha jana sangas chalolyancha sadbhya bhaktir vinashyati. So, for the translation, Guru Maharaj has actually given a Bengali verse by Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Atyanta sangrahe yara sadachita daya atyahari bhaktahina se samgyapaya prakrita vastura ashe bhoge yara mana prayase tahara nama bhakti hina jana Krishna kata chadi jiva anakata kahe prajalpi tahara nama vritta vakya kahe bhajanete udasina karmete pravina bhavarambi se niyamagrahi atidina Krishna bhakta sangavina anya sangarata jana sangi ku vishaya bilase vivrata nanashtane brahme ye nija svata tare laulya para bhakti hina samgya deyam nare echaya nahi kabu bhakti adhikari bhakti hina lakshya brasta vishayi sangsari. So we caught a few words in there anyway. And then, so the English translation of that one, for over acquisition, one whose mind does always run, avaricious non-devotee, he should thus be known. Hare Krishna. Jai Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Jai Guru. One, for over acquisition, one whose mind does always run, avaricious non-devotee, he should thus be known. 2. One who hankers to exploit some object mundane, non-devotee over-endeavourer, as such he is known. One who hankers to exploit some object mundane. 3. One whose tongue speaks all but holy talks of Krishna. He is just a gossiper of insignificant banter. Hare Krishna. 4. Apathetic to devotion, skilled in exploitation, so wretched, proud usurper of the higher devotee's position. Thanks, Prabhu. 5. Associates with all except Lord Krishna's pure devotees, a mundane socializer in the mud of fleeting fancies. 6. Who wanders hither and thither for his own selfish plan, fickle-minded non-devotee is known such a man. Who wanders hither and thither for his own selfish plan, fickle-minded non-devotee is known such a man. In these 6 ways, never fit to render pure devotion, bereft of love divine, fallen, materialistic person. Hare Krishna. I think Saraswati Thakur was kind of channeling Lochan Das Thakur there. So it's got, you know, we are beggars of mercy, no doubt, but still some onus is on us. I heard a nice Christian couplet that is, we have to pray like it's all up to God, but work like it's all up to you. Those 2 things. Actually, it's all grace and mercy, and we're being carried by that merciful hand that's extended to us by our divine guardians. But still, to catch that, we have to make ourselves able to catch that. So we have to follow their instructions. Yes, again coming up. Yes, exactly. So knowing at the same time that we have no power and no capacity, actually still we're striving and praying that we can live up to the standard and free ourselves from these selfish mindset, selfish calculation, moving away from the plane of calculation where everything is a business transaction or some kind of calculated selfish interest, and move towards that dedicating, that land of dedication. So we need to hear it. That's why, you know, Bhaktisiddhanta is not known as lion guru for no reason. He's not, you know, it's not some kind of poetic description. He's the lion guru because he came to wake us up. A ray of Vishnu descended. As Advaita Prabhu was, you know, praying for the Lord to descend, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed for some assistance to come to help him. And we know how much the inconceivable potency of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you know, Guru Dam, Grantadam, Gaura Dam Dan, he gave us everything. And first and foremost, Guru Dam, he gave us Guru, he gave us Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who like a laser beam, I don't know how to describe it accurately, like some kind of Brahmastra weapon came, and without, how is he described? Like a lion, like steel on the outside and soft as a rose on the inside, but it could only be detected on the inside. He was sent to when Goswami Maharaj put together the Sri Guruni's Grace, and Guru Maharaj read the picture of Saraswati Thakur, saying he came to how does it go? He came to
totalitarian.
Yeah, he waged totalitarian war on Maya, even against other existing religious conceptions. And Guru Maharaj was very happy and said, "Yes, you know, you've described my Gurudev very nicely there. I'm very happy with that." So we can expect when we hear from him, like when we sing the songs of Lochan Das Thakur and others whose particular mood is like that, to just have it laid out openly and with no sugarcoating, you know. Our own Srila Govinda Maharaj's style was different, but he was just as firm and just as his guru. He's heavy like the Himalaya, unmovable. But for the likes of me and for the fallen conditioned souls of the West who are so far beneath even who Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was preaching to, then his nature was a little different, but still presenting the same Siddhanta, and in his final years when he was showing sickness and suffering and saying, you know, I am suffering because of my disciples doing nonsense. Every day I have to massage their lotus feet, he'd say. Every day I have to massage their lotus feet, or massage their feet, you know, because he knew that, you know, we're so weak and so helpless that anything a little bit more straightforward, like Saraswati Thakur saying, we would just run and we'd just go away, wouldn't even be there. So he's at great personal cost adjust, in fact, to try to help us to digest and move in that direction.
My experience was he was like soft on the, like a rose on the outside,
Hare Krishna.
Like steel on the inside.
Yes, well, that's very, yes, nice way of seeing. Yes, because he is the, you know, he is the perfect disciple and friend of Srila Guru Maharaj, who was the chosen, you know, the power transmission that came from Saraswati Thakur to Srila Guru Maharaj. At least there's one man who can represent me correctly. So he's very much the family of Saraswati Thakur, Gurudev. You know, he didn't personally meet him, but he was his grandchild, fully that family. So we know it's not. It's for the sake. It's for the sake of the fallen souls that the Vaishnavas are taking so much trouble at their own personal cost of everything. From the early morning when he first opened his door, Gurudev was serving the devotees until late at night. Hare Krishna. Jai. All right, so that was from Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Padanam. That shloka, I don't know where from exactly, but
is it Upadeshan?
It might be. It sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah, it absolutely sounds like it. Yes. Okay, so we'll do one more from the Prapana Jivanamrita. It's text 11. Yosit Sangasya Pratikulyam. And it's called The Severe Adversity of Female Companionship. Nishkinchanasya Bhagavad Bhajanon Mukasya Param Param Jigamisho Bhava Sagarasya Sandarshanam Vishainam Atta Yositancha Ahanta Hanta Visha Bhakshanato Pyasado Shri Shri Bhagavatas Chaitanya Chandrasya, the Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Chandra. Alas, for a renunciate who desires to completely cross over this ocean of mundanity and engage in the divine loving service of the Supreme Lord, to ogle a materialist and a woman is more wicked than drinking poison. Ogle. How would you describe ogle, Maharaj? To look at with like desire or kind of intent or something like that.
You say ugo.
Oh, you don't? Funny. Man, you guys need to learn English. So
it implies really dumb too.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So and so we hear of Kanak, Kamini and Pratishta, which is more often than not described as money, women and name and fame. But Guru Maharaj also translates Kamini as the objects of sense desire.
Everything.
Yes, which is much more inclusive, you could say, a deeper analysis of the word. Because particularly in the Kali Yuga, it used to be that men ogled women and women ogled men, but in the Kali Yuga, everything is now some grey masala entity. So it's not so simple to say like that.
Women say they're men and men say
the men. Women are men, men are women, or they don't know, or they're half one thing and half another. But the principle remains the same as Kamini, as the objects of sense desire. So whatever it is, and in his translation he does begin with a materialist, and then he says a woman. So whatever that is, Gita is saying wherever we put our attention and wherever we put our energy or the mind goes, then that will lead us down a particular path. So we're given this Maha Mantra particularly, and so many instructions to try to help us. We hear that mantra means mind freeing and so many things. The Maha Mantra, of course, is above all, is even beyond all that. But nevertheless, we're given medicine and we're given service. Service is the medicine, actually. Service is the medicine. When Guru Maharaj is asked by a devotee, I am always suffering from lust and anger, and what am I supposed to do? And Guru Maharaj said, responsible service. That is the key. And responsible means where you have to use your mind as well. Because if your mind is engaged like that, preaching is a wonderful example of that, but there's many others, writing or somehow engaging the brain, then we're automatically engaged and protected, and that stuff stays away from us. And then when we stop that and we're kind of spacing out of it, that's when we're, the devil finds work for idle hands, is the English expression, which is kind of apt in that way. So again, we're being warned by Mahaprabhu himself, in this world, going in that direction. It's a good example of the whole, like we've heard in recent days, the whole, the entropic tendency of the world, and how a little deviation from what's given by our guardians can take us to the garbage of Sahajism very quickly. So Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu is none other than our golden Lord. He is Shri Radha and Shri Krishna combined. They are engaged in that delightful, playful dancing Leela, but in the form of the devotees, he's very heavily showing from his behavior and in his words. You cannot look in that direction, give energy in that direction. It will ruin your spiritual life. That shloka starts, alas, for a renunciate who desires to completely cross over the ocean of mundanity and engage in the divine loving service of the Supreme Lord. Well, that's what we all want, we hope, somewhere in us. That's why we're here. We had or have that desire to completely cross over the ocean of mundanity and try and render some service to the Supreme Lord. So Mahaprabhu is showing we have to be extremely careful and conscious and pray for the help of the Vaishnavas, because ultimately we have, what energy and capacity do we have? Practically none. So we're praying for service and responsible service as our shelter, as our medicine. And really, it's true. It's the divine substance, the service of the Vaishnavas, service of the Lord, service of our Guru Varga. So we're praying for that and praying for the energy to do that, and however, according to our capacity, to fulfill that. So we had 2 shlokas today, one from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and one from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both powerful, heavy shlokas, but it's strong medicine for very sick people. The strong medicine is required. So we have.
I want to say one thing.
Yes, please, Maharaj.
About the the community that Srila Prabhupada so one time. Tamal Krishna took this to the extreme, and he had a plan: send all the women to Australia.
All women, or just devotee women?
Well, probably wanted all women. All
moving in that direction.
First devotee women. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada said that the material woman is with Maya, but the devotee woman is the goddess of fortune.
Right.
And that by the shelter of the devotee woman, the man can get protected in the fort of Durga. He said Durga means fort, and that Durga protects the man from the attacks of the illusory energy. That's like the structure of Grihastha life.
Right.
So there's that consideration is there in that context. Yeah.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that. And I just read the other day of when a disciple of Gorky Shordas Babaji Maharaj was going to get married, and he very happily saying yes, and that's very good, and he will see that lady as a gopi, and he will serve her nicely, and he saw in that way, not this terrible Maya, not like that. Again, in the consciousness of the devotee.
It's another Achintya Beda thing, yeah.
And that ashram is there for that, exactly for that. So we're so thankful to Srila Prabhupada and others for adjusting and correcting what can easily. So again, it shows the necessity of guru, because if you're reading things like this, you can easily slip into becoming some kind of fanatic, or some kind of woman hater, or some kind of whatever it may be. If you don't have the real Vaishnava to correct you, even Guru Maharaj himself said in his early life he was prone to that from his Shastric study, some kind of keeping some distance, and it was his auntie who pointed out, she is Lakshmi Devi, representing Lakshmi Devi, the ladies section. And he said he had to adjust himself then to go forward. So really, what the Shastra gives is made accessible, and what is it's how to read it and how to see it comes from those teachers, from our divine guardians. So it's always
so it's two-sided coin. One side is lust, and the other side is like artificial renunciation.
Right.
Sorry, Bibi.
I heard somewhere or I read somewhere that if your mind is fully occupied in responsible service, Maya will not go there. She will not disturb you. Because you're so busy.
Yes.
And occupied.
Yes.
All the different
yes.
responsibilities that there's no time.
Yeah, Guru Maharaj says it in one of those sermons books, I think it is, maybe the second one, when someone asks him that, what do I do? I'm always suffering, lust, anger, greed, everything, you know, and that's his answer, responsible. So that's why we're praying for that, because it's not, you know, we're praying for that. And managing, that's a very responsible service. It requires all kinds of, you know, so many different kinds of attention in so many different ways, looking after the devotees, just looking after the material, so-called material thing of calling the electrician and calling the plumber, organising so many things. So
Prabhupada told Kurandar in the early days, management means anxiety.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Well, I think that's no.
I used to tell myself that when I was overwhelmed.
Right. That's part of the service.
It's like
taking
it's devotion, even
right.
though it's like blah.
Yeah.
It's part of devotion.
Yeah, and it's. I remember like Goswami Maharaj saying that, you know, that we think of spiritual life, you know, spiritual life generally. You think of someone sitting cross-legged under a redwood tree at Big Sur, you know, feeling very peaceful and nothing really happening. And then both in this world, often our spiritual lives has anxiety and can I do that? You know, as we're going through, and even in Leela. It's full of transcendental anxiety and you know, as you call it, like a transcendental roller coaster of emotion, including all these, you know, horror, you know, despair, anguish. Krishna's just been swallowed by that snake, you know, not like, you know, from the outside someone might imagine spiritual.
Yeah, it's as much as a like kind of false distraction to think I want peace,
right, as
opposed to I want devotion, even if it's with anxiety.
Right. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we're in the Adi Leela, chapter 4. And here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is quoting various shlokas from the Bhagavatam mostly, and probably other places as well, showing the purposes for the appearance of Mahaprabhu. And he's just beginning to show something of the intimacy of Vrindavan, where all kind of conceptions of God are far away, or just rumors going around that this Krishna is, you know, and
some kind of demigod.
Right. And Mother Yashoda just dismisses it and said they're just envious people, you know, putting about these rumors. She's not having any of it. So I can't remember exactly. Anyway, we'll start at 23. Maye bhakti hi bhutanam amritatvaya kalpate jisya yadasin matsneho babatinam madapana. Devotional service rendered to me by the living beings revives their eternal life. O my dear damsels of Vraja, your affection for me is your good fortune, for it is the only means by which you have attained my favour. And Srila Prabhupada saying, pure devotional service is represented in the activities of the residents of Vraja Bhumi, Vrindavan. During a solar eclipse, the Lord came from Dwarka and met the inhabitants of Vrindavan at Samanta Panchaka. The meeting was intensely painful for the damsels of Vraja Bhumi, because Lord Krishna apparently left them to reside at Dwarka. But the Lord obligingly acknowledged the pure devotional service of the damsels of Vraja by speaking this verse from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we've just had the Rath Yatra festival in Jagannath Puri, so we've been hearing something about these.
Was this where the marker was?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
But I think that verse we had read, but probably not the next one.
Yeah, I guess because there was a similar verse that we covered a while back. But
Yes.
It's okay.
Matamuri putra bhave karine bandhana atihina jnane kari lalana palana. Mother sometimes binds me as her son. She nourishes and protects me, thinking me utterly helpless. I know in the prayers of Kunti Devi, she references this. She said, you know, she's like, how can we understand you? How can we understand your pastimes? You know, even though fear personified is afraid of you, when you're crying and your mother is chasing you, you're afraid. And she ties you up. And you're the ultimate supreme reality. She nourishes and protects, because her nourishing and protecting conquers, is more powerful. The heart of the devotee is more powerful than that supreme personality of Godhead. Because she thinks he's utterly helpless. She's running after him. He's going to fall over. He's going to hurt himself. Better stop him. Got to run and get him. And if he keeps doing it, I'm going to tie him up.
He's a rascal.
He's a rascal. But thinks, mother sometimes binds me as her son. She nourishes and protects me, thinking me utterly helpless. Shaka Shuddha Shakya Kare Skande Arohana Tumi Kon Bada Loka Tumi Ami Sama. My friends climb on my shoulders in pure friendship, saying, what kind of big man are you? You and I are equal. So we've Srila Prabhupada has pulled us into Vrindavan conception with these Krishnadas Kaviraj shlokas from the Bhagavatam.
Oh, Prabhu, I had a thought on that.
Yeah.
Mother Yashoda chasing Krishna with a stick and then tying him up.
Right.
It's like the reverse is happening in the States. They've given allowance for children to sue their parents,
Right.
for like abuse.
Right.
So it's like the parents are not following responsibly, the kids are not following responsibly, the whole thing is completely collapsing.
Hare Krishna.
The parents can't
Right.
discipline the children.
No. And the lawyers are counting the money.
Yeah, it's really bizarre how society is just collapsing before our eyes. And I can imagine what it will look like in the eyes of my grandchildren or something. It's really quite bizarre.
Yes.
Anyway, just that.
Yes.
I mean, in the absolute, Krishna is being punished. Because he needs to be, he needs to have parameters.
Right.
So, what to speak of our kids? You have to, boom, give them some understanding of what's You know, what's proper? Otherwise, there's no parameters. Then they'll become criminals or something.
And they're much happier anyway. Kids are much happier when they know what they can do, what they can't do, than this just, you know, grey, never really sure. But, you know, this is why the preaching mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most important thing, to give some relief to everyone from the what was that? The vicious.
Right.
What was it? The vicious it wasn't machinations, but anyway, the way Srila Prabhupada describes the material nature it's no fun at all, and it's arising from lust, and it's, what is it? Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, it's Mahashano, Mahapapma, and Vejanami Avadim. It's the greatest enemy of this world. It's, you know, that lust that resides in us, that exploitative, calculative mentality, that's the greatest enemy of this world. And the only way this world or anywhere else can be purified is by taking that seriously and going on, because otherwise externally it's just doing its thing. Its very nature is contaminated, the plane of death, polluted, misconceived. So we're praying that the devotees will grab us by the hair, as they promised to do, to grab us by the hair and pull us out of this horrible, self-created, suffering world. What kind of big man are you? You and I are equal. Oh, and then there's these slokas. Priya yadi manakari karaye batsana Veda shtuti haite hari se mora mana. If my beloved consort reproaches me in a sulky mood, that steals my mind from the reverent hymns of the Vedas. So, Kaviraj Goswami is really, he's taken us to like a very deep place, very, very quickly, as he's given the internal reasons for Mahaprabhu's appearance and just what that plane is and what its nature is. Just super sweet, that all the majesty and all the reverence, all the Vedic hymns, all the brahmanas offering sacrifice, all these amazing things. Krishna's mind is stolen away from that just by his beloved telling him off for his bad behavior in a sulky mood from her pure, devoted heart. That trumps everything. The heart of the devotee, and of course the supreme devotee, is Srimati Radharani, and she's extending her merciful service recruitment campaign through our gurus. Prabhupada writes, let's see what Prabhupada's given us in this purport. It says, all living entities are dependent on the supreme living entity. It's also said, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. One living entity supports all the other living entities. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead maintains all the other living entities, they remain subordinate to the Lord, even when joined with Him in the reciprocation of loving affairs. But in the course of exchanging transcendental love of the highest purity, sometimes the subordinate devotee tries to predominate over the predominator. one who lovingly engages with the Supreme Lord as if his mother or father, sometimes supersedes the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, his fiancé or lover sometimes supersedes the position of the Lord. But such attempts are exhibitions of the highest love. Only out of pure love does the subordinate lover of the Supreme Personality of Godhead chide him. The Lord, enjoying this chiding, takes it very nicely. So Prabhupada again is keeping us safe.
Tempering it. Right?
Yeah. He's saying, yes, this is born of pure love. and if and when you achieve pure love, these things will reveal in your heart. Until that day, we are going back to those slokas we heard from Prapana Jivanamritam, the way to behave in this world, and how a devotee, what we have to practice, how we should practice in our lives, and the beautiful the etiquette. Vaishnava etiquette is the adornment of the devotee. It's so beautiful. It's real culture. It's devotional culture. How we should behave as aspiring devotees, and it's supremely beautiful. So Prabhupada's just perfectly. Keeping us grounded as we're hearing these very high descriptions of the Supreme Reality. Regulative principles in devotional service are meant for those who have not invoked their natural love of Godhead, he says. When natural love arises, all regulative methods are surpassed, and pure love is exhibited between the Lord and the devotee. Although on such a platform of love, the devotee sometimes appears to predominate over the Lord or transgress regulative principles, such dealings are far more advanced than ordinary dealings through regulative principles with awe and veneration. A devotee who is actually free from all designations due to complete attachment in love for the Supreme exhibits spontaneous love of Godhead, which is always superior to the devotion of regulative principles. The informal language used between lover and beloved is significant of pure affection. When devotees worship their beloved as the most venerable object, spontaneous loving sentiments are observed to be lacking. A neophyte devotee who follows the Vedic instructions that regulate those who lack pure love of Godhead may superficially seem more exalted than a devotee in spontaneous love of Godhead. But in fact, such spontaneous pure love is far superior to regulated devotional service. Such pure love of Godhead is always glorious in all respects, more so than reverential devotional service rendered by a less affectionate devotee. So again, he's given us some warning and then saying, but still, that is being given is the fact.
I like how just previously Prabhupada in describing the gopis, he called them fiancés, and, just to temper it for us so that we don't immediately in our minds think of the wrong thing. Right. I'm thinking also in our practical application in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math, there are principles, but at the same time we have developing within us a feeling of affection that's based on devotion, and so we share that amongst the devotees, but simultaneously having to maintain the consciousness of devotion. So it's a Chinta Veda, and rather than be you know, super structured and stiff, like maybe in other societies. Maybe we're not like that. Isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, Maharaj. I mean, we want. I mean, it's this. I mean, it's all delicate, but I mean, ultimately, that's Gurudev wants us to step up and do it and be it, and it coming from inside, you know, to have some realization of the necessity, to the necessity of surrender. And then I was just thinking, you know, when you come into the mat in Navadvip, as you're entering the Nat Mandir, you know, there's the, I don't know whether diorama is the right word for it, the bas relief or something. There's Govardhan, and then there's Mahaprabhu's Leela, and then that shloka, Matala Hari Janaki Tanarange Pujala Ragapata Gaurava Bange, is the first shloka before anything else that you see coming through that doors. That this Leela, these worshipable things are exactly that. They are our aspirational, worshipable, and that we hold them like that. And in the meantime, we're following in the line of Rupa Goswami, who gave us the Upadeshamrita, where he's saying, you know, Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Jiva, like that one we had today in Prapana Jivanamrita, that I'm sure is you were correct, is from the Upadeshamrita, just giving us the basic, how do we proceed in this world, and that one day we may aspire for the service of that upper world. And we're very fortunate that our Gurudev is so merciful and encouraging us to take responsibility. I think that's what it boils down to, take responsibility for our own spiritual lives. What needs, if the service needs to be done, then do it. You know, not because somebody's shouting at you, because it needs to be done, and it's the Lord's Seva. And I heard from Madhusudana Maharaj about Guru Maharaj hearing like brahmacharis like moaning or fighting amongst each other about washing the pots, and then he came down and started washing the pots.
Oh boy.
And they were like, no. And Guru Maharaj, I can't remember exactly what, but it was something along the lines of, you know, how many lifetimes have I waited to get the opportunity to clean the paraphernalia of Shri Guru Garanga Gandhava Govinda Sundar. Yeah, and that's heartfelt. So again, they're showing by their example that that's what we aspire to, really, is to do the needful, as Srila Prabhupada would say, do the needful.
Yeah, there's always a chance, and if we like focus on why we're doing it, and in the deepest way as possible, we'll feel reciprocation. You know, it happens like that because it's for real. It's not just an exercise.
Right.
Like, you know, it may be if you just don't think about what you're doing. But if you think about, wow, I have a chance to serve, and you do it, then it's auspicious.
Right. Okay, well, we better stop there because we've already gone over a little bit. It happens every day, really, but it's hard to tear ourselves away from this Krishna Katha, as always. But we have other service engagements today, so Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, and jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai for giving us this beautiful Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita in English, and our Guru Varga, jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Swami Maharaj ki jai, jai Srila Bhakti Rakshida Deva Swami Maharaj ki jai, jai Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai, and all our Acharya Vrinda ki jai, Srila Bhakti Nimala Acharya Maharaj ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Let me move this out of the way.
Do you have to shut this off, TV?
I hope so, because you never know how long it's going on for. And then
Yeah, right, we're talking.
Hare Hare Nama Krishna Jaya Bhajanam